Let me share with you something very simple, but very powerful. Imagine you are standing still in front of someone. Your heart is calm, your breath steady, and your eyes are soft yet filled with certainty. In that very moment, you are not trying to impress, you are not trying to hide. You are simply present. This is the move that has the strength to open the heart of any man. What makes this so powerful is that most people live their lives in tension. They try to be someone, they try to prove, but they try to control how others see them. But when you stand in the simplicity of being yourself, you release that tension. You allow space. And in this space, the other person feels something rare. He feels safe. He feels drawn. He feels that he does not have to pretend either. This is not about acting. It is not about techniques or strategies. It is about cultivating stillness within. When you speak from a place of calm, your voice carries a different weight. When you smile without demand, it reaches deeper. When you listen without rushing, it shows more strength than any clever words. Men are not only attracted to beauty, they are deeply moved by presence. A man may see thousands of faces every day, but the one he will remember is the one that made him feel seen without judgment. That presence cannot be faked. It grows from patience, from awareness, from your willingness to be fully in the moment. Presence is something so simple, yet it is the most powerful force you can bring into any connection. When you are present, you are not lost in the past, and you are not chasing the future. You are here right now, and that state of being changes the way people feel around you. A man may not always understand why he feels drawn to you, but he will feel it. Presence creates a field of energy that speaks louder than appearance, louder than words, louder than anything else. Think about the way people usually live their lives. Most of the time their mind is busy, full of noise, full of worry, planning what to say next, trying to shape themselves to be liked. This constant effort creates tension that others can feel. A man who senses this tension might listen, he might even be polite, but deep inside he does not relax, he does not surrender into the moment. Now compare that with the feeling of being with someone who is fully present. She is not distracted, not in a hurry, not competing for attention. Her attention rests completely in the moment. That presence calms the other person immediately. It makes him feel understood without even speaking, and that is when attraction begins to grow. Presence is not about performance. It is not about showing how confident you are. It is not about clever words or trying to control the impression you make. Presence is pure simplicity. It is the way your breath flows naturally, the way your eyes hold steady without force, the way your body language communicates peace. A man who encounters this will feel something unusual. He will notice that he can lower his guard, that he does not have to play roles, that he can actually be himself in your company. That feeling of freedom is rare, and it is exactly what makes him want to stay close to you. Many believe that attraction comes from doing more. Saying the right things, dressing the right way, acting in ways that seem impressive. But in truth, it often comes from doing less. When you are present, you are not lost in trying. You are simply there, and in that state, the natural qualities of your spirit come forward. A calm presence allows your true beauty to shine through without effort. Your silence becomes powerful. Your stillness becomes magnetic. You do not need to chase attention, because presence itself commands it. When a man feels this, he feels safe. He feels that he is not being pushed, not being manipulated, not being tested. Instead, he feels seen. He feels respected. And this touches something deep within him. Men, just like anyone else, long for a space where they can put down their armor. When you offer that through your presence, he will feel an attachment that he cannot easily explain, but he will want to return to it again and again. Presence also requires courage. It means you allow yourself to be seen as you truly are, without masks, without constant distraction, without trying to escape the silence. It means you hold your ground when the moment feels uncertain. That kind of courage does not just impress a man, it inspires him. He sees strength in your stillness, strength in your calm, and it draws him closer in ways that words never could. So the one move that makes any man fall is not a move in the outer sense. It is the inner move of returning to yourself and allowing the moment to be what it is. In this state of presence, every gesture, every look, every word becomes naturally attractive. It is not forced, it is not fake, it is real. And real presence is unforgettable. Calmness within is a power that cannot be overlooked because it shapes the way others experience you before you even speak a word. When you carry silent confidence, it creates an invisible atmosphere around you, one that naturally draws people closer. A man in particular notices this calm strength immediately. He may not be able to describe it, but he feels it. It is the kind of presence that makes him want to know more, because he senses stability, balance, and depth. Most people today live in a world of constant noise. Their minds are restless, their actions rushed, their emotions unsettled. This restlessness spills into conversations, relationships, and the way they carry themselves. You can hear it in their voice, see it in their body language, and feel it in their energy. When a man encounters someone like this, he may listen politely, but deep down he does not find himself drawn to that energy, because it mirrors the stress he already experiences in life. What he longs for is the opposite, calmness. And when you embody that calmness, you give him something rare, something refreshing. Silent confidence is not about arrogance. It is not about being louder, smarter, or appearing superior. Silent confidence is about knowing your worth without needing to prove it. It is in the way you walk without rush, the way you look into someone's eyes without fear, the way you stay comfortable in pauses during a conversation. These small things show a man that you are at peace with yourself, and that peace becomes magnetic. Imagine two people entering a room. One comes in with nervous energy, constantly adjusting themselves, trying to capture attention, speaking too quickly. The other walks in calmly, with steady breath, gentle eyes, and no need to force anything. Everyone feels the difference instantly. Which person do you think captures the deeper attention? It is always the one who holds calm strength. A man cannot resist that energy, because it shows him something he deeply respects: control without force, strength without noise, confidence without demand. This kind of calmness also has a profound effect on how communication unfolds. When you speak with steady tone, without rushing, every word carries more meaning. When you listen fully, without interrupting or drifting away, it makes the other person feel valued. A man who experiences this will sense that you are not distracted by the chaos around you, but grounded within yourself. And in that state, he will feel drawn to you because you give him space to relax, to open, to be vulnerable. Silent confidence also means you are not shaken by small challenges. Life will always test you, through misunderstandings, delays, disagreements. But when you respond calmly instead of reacting with anger or fear, it shows a strength that few people possess. A man who sees this will admire it deeply. He will feel safe in your presence, because he knows that your strength is not dependent on the circumstances, but comes from within. That is a quality he will not easily forget. True attraction is not built on grand gestures. It is built on the subtle energy you bring into every interaction. If you are restless within, people will feel it. If you are calm within, people will feel that even more strongly. Silent confidence requires no explanation. It simply radiates. And it makes a man fall because it allows him to see you not only as someone beautiful, but as someone steady, someone who can stand firm when the world shakes. The beauty of this power is that you do not need to chase or convince. You only need to cultivate inner calmness to carry yourself with balance and trust in your own worth. And when you do, the right man will feel that pull toward you effortlessly, because your silent confidence speaks to him louder than anything you could say. That is the strength that makes him fall without resistance. A genuine smile holds a kind of magic that cannot be manufactured. It is simple, yet it carries within it a power to touch the heart in ways words can never reach. When a man sees a smile that comes from a place of honesty and ease, he feels something stir inside him. He may not even know why it affects him, but he feels drawn because the smile communicates warmth, safety, and openness all at once. It tells him that you are comfortable in your own skin, that you are not hiding behind layers of pretense, and that you welcome the moment as it is. Most people underestimate the impact of such a smile. They think attraction is built on grand gestures, on carefully chosen words, on rehearsed actions. But in truth, it is often the smallest things that touch someone most deeply. A smile that is forced or used as a mask does not have the same effect, because it carries tension. But when you smile with no hidden motive, when it rises naturally from within, it radiates sincerity. A man feels this immediately. It disarms him, softens his guard, and makes him want to be closer. Think about how often people go through life carrying stress, wearing serious faces, and moving with heaviness. In such a world, a genuine smile is like a rare light. It breaks through the monotony, it refreshes the heart, and it brings hope. For a man, seeing that smile directed toward him is not just attractive, it is healing. It shows him that with you, he can step into a space that is lighter, brighter, and free of judgment. A smile without expectation has another special power. It communicates acceptance. You are not smiling because you want something in return, not because you are trying to win approval, but simply because you choose to share joy in that moment. That kind of smile tells a man that you are complete within yourself, that you do not need to chase or demand. It shows him confidence without words, and in turn, he feels valued and respected. This feeling can awaken deep admiration and affection. A smile also creates connection in silence. Sometimes words fail, sometimes situations are heavy, but a genuine smile can bridge the gap. It says more than language ever could. It can calm a man when he feels pressure, encourage him when he feels uncertain, and remind him of beauty in the simplest form. When he receives this gift of a smile, he will remember it, even long after the moment has passed. But it is important to remember that such a smile cannot be faked. It grows from within, from inner peace and genuine contentment. When you cultivate gratitude, when you live in harmony with yourself, your smile will carry that energy naturally. And when you offer it to someone, it will not just be a physical expression. It will be an energy that touches his spirit. That is why the most beautiful smile is not about perfect lips or flawless teeth. The most beautiful smile is the one that reflects truth. For a man, falling for you often begins in moments when you least expect it. A small glance, a quiet laugh, a simple smile. These are the things that linger in his memory. He may not recall every word you spoke, but he will remember how he felt when he saw your smile. Because that feeling is rare, and it makes him want to experience it again and again. So never underestimate the quiet power of this one gesture. A genuine smile without expectation carries the strength to open hearts, to soften walls, and to create attraction that goes beyond surface. It is not about trying harder. It is about allowing yourself to shine effortlessly. And when you smile from within, it will not only make him fall, it will also remind him why he wants to keep falling. Deep listening is one of the rarest and most powerful forms of connection, yet it is often overlooked. Most people hear words, but they do not truly listen. They are distracted, waiting for their turn to speak, or already preparing a response while the other person is still talking. But when you give the gift of full attention, when you listen with your whole being, it creates an impact that cannot be measured. A man who experiences this kind of listening feels something unusual. He feels seen in a way that goes beyond surface attraction. And that feeling alone can make him fall. Men, just like anyone else, carry unspoken burdens. They carry expectations from society, responsibilities from family, and pressures from their own inner battles. Often, they are taught to remain strong, to hide their struggles, to hold back their emotions. In such a world, being listened to without judgment becomes a rare treasure. When a man finds someone who is not only willing to hear his words, but also feel his silence, it touches him deeply. He begins to associate that presence with comfort, safety, and acceptance. Listening is not about nodding your head or staying quiet until it is your turn. It is about entering the moment fully, with no distraction, no hurry, and no agenda. It is about looking into his eyes and hearing not just what he says, but what he does not say. It is about noticing the tone, the pauses, the weight behind the words. When you listen in this way, you communicate something powerful without even speaking. You matter. Your voice is important. Your thoughts are safe with me. A man who feels this will not only open up more, he will also feel a deeper connection than he ever expected. What makes deep listening so magnetic is that it allows a man to put down his armor. Most of the time, he walks through life wearing masks, showing only strength, hiding his fears. But when he senses that you are listening without judgment, he feels free to show the side of himself that he rarely shows to anyone else. That vulnerability creates intimacy, and intimacy builds attraction on a level much deeper than appearance. When you practice deep listening, you also show patience. You do not rush him. You do not finish his sentences. You do not dismiss his feelings. Patience in listening is a form of respect, and respect is one of the strongest foundations of love. A man who feels respected in this way will feel valued, and that value binds his heart closer to you. Listening also has the power to heal. Sometimes, a man does not need solutions. He does not need advice. He simply needs space to express what he carries. Your willingness to provide that space without trying to fix or control can be more healing than anything else. It shows him that you are not there to change him, but to understand him. And understanding is what makes love grow naturally. It is important to remember that deep listening is not only with the ears, it is with the heart. It is not passive, it is active presence. You give your attention fully, as if nothing else matters in that moment. That kind of presence cannot be ignored. It leaves a mark. And once a man has felt it, he will always associate you with peace and truth. So if you want to know one move that has the power to make him fall, it is not always about what you say, but about how you listen. Words may fade, but the memory of being heard remains. To listen deeply is to tell him, without speaking, that he is enough, that his story matters, and that he does not need to hide. And when he feels that, his heart will naturally lean toward you. Inner stillness is like an unseen force, subtle yet incredibly powerful. It is not something you can wear. It is not something you can pretend. It is something that radiates from within. When you cultivate stillness inside yourself, it naturally creates an energy around you that draws others closer. A man, in particular, feels this presence in ways he cannot easily explain. He may meet many people every day, but when he meets someone who carries inner stillness, he feels a sense of calm that is rare. That calmness makes him want to stay, not because of something you do outwardly, but because of what you are within. Life today is full of movement. People rush from one task to another, their minds restless, their emotions unsettled. They speak quickly, move quickly, and live as though silence is something to avoid. But when you bring stillness into that kind of world, it feels like a sanctuary. Inner stillness is not about being silent on the outside. It is about being rooted on the inside. It means that even when things around you are chaotic, your breath remains steady, your spirit remains calm, and your energy is unshaken. That kind of presence is magnetic because it gives others permission to also let go of their restlessness. When a man encounters someone with inner stillness, he notices the difference right away. He may not know why, but he feels more grounded around you. He feels that he can relax, that he can slow down, that he can take off the armor he wears in daily life. And because he feels this, he begins to associate you with peace. That association becomes powerful. It is not just attraction based on appearance. It is attraction built on the way you make him feel. And people always remember how they feel in your presence more than anything else. Stillness also reveals strength. Many think strength is about being louder, about dominating, about always proving something. But real strength often speaks in silence. It is the ability to stay calm when others are restless, to remain balanced when others lose control, to hold your ground when pressure rises. This kind of strength is not aggressive, it is not forceful, yet it commands respect. A man who sees this in you cannot ignore it. He will feel admiration, he will feel respect, and most importantly, he will feel safe. And safety is one of the deepest foundations of love. Another beautiful aspect of inner stillness is that it makes your actions more meaningful. When you are still inside, you do not rush your words. You do not scatter your energy. Every gesture you make, every glance, every smile carries depth. It is no longer just movement, it is presence. A man who experiences this will notice how different it feels to be around you compared to others who are constantly distracted or restless. Your stillness allows him to focus, to connect, and to experience you on a level beyond surface attraction. Inner stillness also allows you to listen more deeply, to feel more fully, to love more sincerely. Because you are not caught in endless inner noise, you can give your attention fully to the moment. You are not pulled into the past or future. You are not chasing or escaping. You are simply there. This is what creates the magnetic energy others feel. It is not something you try to show. It is something that naturally flows from you when your inner world is at peace. A man who feels this will often find himself thinking of you even when you are not around. Because your presence lingers not through words, but through the calm energy you left behind. And that energy is what makes him want to return, again and again, because it gives him something he cannot easily find elsewhere. So the move that makes any man fall is not about chasing, not about showing off, not about controlling. It is about cultivating stillness within yourself, carrying peace wherever you go, and allowing that energy to speak louder than anything else. Authenticity is one of the most attractive qualities a person can carry, because it is so rare in a world where many are hiding behind masks. To be authentic is to show yourself as you truly are, without pretending, without bending to please, and without fear of judgment. When you live in authenticity, you carry a natural glow that no makeup, no perfect outfit, and no clever words could ever replace. And when a man encounters this kind of truth in someone, it speaks to him louder than charm, louder than beauty, louder than anything that can be forced. Most people are busy creating images of themselves that they hope will be accepted by others. They say what they think will be liked. They act in ways they believe will gain approval, and they adjust themselves constantly out of fear of rejection. But this constant pretending creates a distance. It makes connection shallow, and it leaves the other person unsure if what they are experiencing is real. A man may enjoy surface beauty, he may be entertained by charm, but he cannot build trust with masks. What draws him in deeply is when he feels that what he sees is what is real. And that is exactly what authenticity gives. When you are authentic, you are not afraid to show your strengths, but you are also not afraid to show your flaws. You speak with honesty instead of rehearsed lines. You laugh without worrying if it looks graceful. You share your opinions without needing them to be perfect. This realness is powerful because it gives the other person freedom to be real too. A man who feels he can be himself in your presence will fall more deeply than he would for someone who constantly performs. Authenticity makes him feel safe because he knows there are no games being played. Authenticity also carries confidence without arrogance. When you accept yourself as you are, you no longer need to fight for attention. You do not chase approval. You do not try to compete. You simply stand in your own truth. That kind of energy is magnetic. A man feels it when you walk into a room. The quiet strength that comes from not needing to prove anything. This is the kind of confidence that stays with him because it is not loud but steady, not forced but natural. Another reason authenticity is so attractive is because it creates trust. In relationships, trust is everything. Without it, love cannot last. And trust cannot grow when someone is hiding or pretending. But when you are authentic, your words align with your actions, your emotions align with your expressions, and your presence feels consistent. A man who experiences this will begin to trust you deeply, and that trust is what makes his feelings grow stronger. It is important to understand that authenticity does not mean being perfect, nor does it mean sharing every single thought or feeling without care. It means being real, being honest, and showing up as yourself without disguises. It means not hiding your light to make others comfortable, and not creating illusions to make yourself seem more. It is about walking in your truth, whether it is soft or strong, joyful or serious, without fear that it is not enough. This quality is unforgettable. Long after first impressions fade, long after surface attraction wears off, what remains in a man's heart is the memory of someone who was real with him. Someone who did not try to manipulate him with appearances, but allowed him to see the truth. That kind of connection is rare, and it becomes a treasure. So the move that makes any man fall is not a trick. It is not a strategy. It is the courage to be authentic. Because in the end, beauty fades, charm changes, but authenticity never loses its power. It is the truth of who you are that makes someone fall and keep falling. Being grounded in yourself is one of the greatest gifts you can bring into any connection, because it shows that your value is not dependent on anyone else. When you are grounded, you stand firm in who you are. You know your worth, you know your path, and you carry yourself with balance. This steadiness creates a natural flow of love toward you, because others can feel that you are whole within yourself. For a man, encountering someone with this kind of presence is both rare and unforgettable, and it is exactly what makes him fall. Many people enter relationships searching for completion. They hope another person will fill the emptiness they feel inside. They look for constant reassurance, endless attention, and validation to remind them that they are enough. But this creates pressure. It creates a weight that eventually pushes people away. A man who senses this dependency does not feel inspired. He feels drained. He may care, but he will not be able to sustain the connection for long, because no one can carry someone else's sense of worth forever. On the other hand, when you are grounded in yourself, you do not look to anyone to define you. You already know your value, so you approach love from a place of abundance rather than lack. You do not chase, you do not cling, you do not demand. Instead, you invite, you share, and you allow love to grow naturally. This energy is magnetic. A man feels lighter around you because he realizes that being with you is not about carrying your insecurities, but about sharing joy. Being grounded also means that you are not easily shaken by challenges. Every relationship will face tests, whether small disagreements or bigger life struggles. But when you are steady inside, you do not react with fear or desperation. You approach situations calmly. You communicate with clarity, and you hold your balance even when things are uncertain. This steadiness gives a man confidence. It shows him that you are not only someone he can enjoy good times with, but also someone he can rely on in difficult times. That reliability makes him respect you, and respect deepens attraction. Groundedness is also expressed in the way you carry yourself daily. It is in the way you walk with quiet confidence, the way you speak without rushing, the way you choose not to be pulled into unnecessary drama. A man who observes this feels the strength of your foundation. He senses that you are not controlled by external noise, that you are not swayed by temporary opinions, that you are anchored in something deeper. This not only draws him closer, but also inspires him to strengthen his own foundation. When you are grounded, you also know how to love without losing yourself. Many people, in their desire to be loved, give up their identity, their passions, their dreams, all in the hope of pleasing another. But this only leads to imbalance and disappointment. A man respects and admires someone who maintains her individuality, who nurtures her own growth while also supporting his. That balance shows maturity. It shows that you are not seeking love out of emptiness, but out of fullness. Another beautiful aspect of being grounded is that it allows you to radiate peace. You are not rushing to prove. You are not competing. You are not desperate. You carry yourself with the quiet assurance that love will come naturally because you are already aligned with yourself. That kind of peace is rare, and when a man feels it, he feels at home. He feels safe, not because you are holding on to him tightly, but because you are steady in your own place. In truth, when love flows toward you effortlessly, it is because you are not chasing it. You are attracting it by the energy you carry. A man who meets you in this state will not want to let go, because he realizes that what you offer is not only affection, but also stability, not only beauty, but also depth. That is what makes him fall, not just once, but again and again. So in the end, the one move that makes any man fall is not a trick, not a game, and not a mask. It is presence, calmness, a genuine smile, deep listening, inner stillness, authenticity, and being grounded in yourself. These qualities do not just create attraction, they create connection, and connection is what truly lasts. When you embody these truths, you will not need to chase love, because love will naturally find its way to you. Trust yourself, honor your worth, and let your energy speak louder than words ever could. I wish you strength, clarity, and confidence as you carry these lessons into your life. May you always remember that love begins within, and when you live from that place, it will radiate outwards effortlessly. Good luck on your journey, and thank you for listening.